What's up, guys? Parker Talks is back. Even though I've been uploading some videos as of late, I haven't recorded a video since last Tuesday, so it has been a week, so I might be a little rusty, but anyway, let's rank a classic trilogy in the High School Musical movies. As you know me, I really like musicals and also movies that are musicals as well, and these are some of my favorite movies, especially this whole trilogy as well, and this is going to be a really hard ranking, but I'm going to go ahead and start with my ranking of these great movies in these High School Musicals. So if you need a little gist of this whole trilogy, it's basically Troy, this basketball player who finds basically that he has another talent in music, and basically everybody in these movies basically communicates with music as it is a musical, and he meets this girl named Gabriella, and they basically have a love story throughout this whole trilogy of movies while these people are in high school, and Sharpay is also the antagonist, and she is trying to perform a play, but there just happens to be people in her way that she thinks are in her way, like Troy and Gabriella. And Troy Bolton is played by, obviously, Zac Efron, Gabriella by Vanessa Hughes, and Sharpay by Ashley Tisdale. So a lot of major actors in these High School Musical movies as well. So ranking these three movies, because I just love all of these movies, it's going to be really hard for me. For some people it's easy, but I just really like all of these movies. I don't really have one thing that I just don't like about any of these movies. I just really love all of them. It's hard for me to differentiate between each of the three to create a ranking, but I'm going to do it anyway, so here we go with number 3. At number 3, we have High School Musical 2, and this takes place more at a country club than school, as Troy Bolton basically gets a job at this country club that Sharpay's parents own, and this takes place during the summer, and that's what makes this movie more at the bottom compared to the other two, because this takes place more during the summer and at a country club instead of at school, which I think the High School Musicals should all be based off of when they're at school. Other than that, I still really like this movie, and I feel like it has the best songs in this movie as well. As you have "What Time Is It" to introduce this song as they are starting the summertime. "Fabulous," which is a great song by Sharpay. "You Are the Music in Me" is probably my favorite song with Troy and Gabriella. Is probably if I think of all these songs, again, this musical has the best songs, but the plot just brings it down a little bit. "Work This Out," "Every Day," and "Bet on It." Again, one of the top songs in all three of the movies, as Zac Efron sings this "Bet on It" song that most everybody knows. But just the whole plot, it's not at a school. That's why it brings it down a little bit, but it's still a great movie brought up by these amazing songs. At number 2, we have High School Musical 3, and compared to High School Musical 2, which was more of a fun movie, not very high stakes, and didn't really deal with school, this one has the highest stakes of any of the movies in this trilogy, and I believe that's one of my favorite parts of this movie. This was also the first movie in the trilogy to be put in theaters and made a boatload of money as well. And what I really liked is that they were basically in a musical itself performing, and they had a great sequence at the very end of the film where they performed this own musical, and one of the songs is that whole musical they perform in front of their student body. Also, I believe that it was very high stakes because Troy was basically going back and forth between Troy and Gabriella were going back and forth between going their separate ways or not, because they were going to college soon and they were looking at different options, and so there was a lot of tenseness throughout that whole process as you were wondering how it was gonna play out. And also Troy was trying to determine, does he want to do basketball when he goes to college, or does he want to go to do the arts and do the play at Juilliard, as he really enjoyed both. So those two big plot points were going throughout this whole film, and that's what made it really tense throughout as you were trying to figure out what's going to happen. Also, I believe Troy and Gabriella have the best chemistry of all the movies in this movie. I believe just them being together, they're just so comfortable with one another. And the songs they sing, like some of the songs they sing together in this film are some of the best, including "Can I Have This Dance?" There are quite a few. Now or Never begins this film, and The Boys Are Back is one of my favorite songs in this trilogy as well. Also in this movie, and when it concludes with this whole movie, when they're graduating from high school, it's amazing, and they have the "We're all in this together," and then the High School Musical song. It just definitely puts the cherry on top for this whole trilogy, and you just have like a great as if you had a sense of accomplishment after watching these films, and as you see what happens with Troy and Gabriella. So, super high stakes. Also, very good songs in this film as well. I really enjoyed it, so that's why it's in at number 2. But coming in at number 1 is the original High School Musical movie, as we have Troy and Gabriella meeting for the first time. And in this first scene, this was honestly the only scene I ever knew about before watching any of these movies. I had seen this before, I guess, where they meet at the ski lodge and they sing Start of Something New. It's just a great, iconic scene as it begins this whole franchise. And then they find out that they're going to be at the same school, which starts this love story. Troy is playing basketball. He's a great basketball star, but he finds music as well. You have different scenes where you incorporate like the basketball movements and this different choreography while singing, and then you have Sharpay, who's she's the antagonist of this film basically, but she's basically more like, you know, a mean girl. If you've seen the movie Mean Girl, she's basically one of those, one of the plastics, and she's trying to perform her own play during this whole High School Musical movie, and that's basically the gist of this film. Basically, it's just very simple. I feel like next to High School Musical 2, it has some of the greatest songs, as it does have a lot of songs in this film that are very good. What I've been looking for in Bop to the Top, you should know Bop to the Top. I did know that song before watching these movies. Those are two great songs between Sharpay and Ryan when they perform these basically scenes for their play. And Stick to the Status Quo is also one of my favorite songs with the whole cast, and Breaking Free is also a great song with Troy and Gabriella. This is something we've never seen before, as this was the first movie in the High School Musical franchise, and just like it's a musical of these teens like in high school just having fun. There's stuff that comes along on the way that could be rough and all that, but and everything is basic. Everything you do is singing, basically. Not everything. It's not like Hamilton. It's not like singing constantly, but this is, I mean, again, something we've never seen before. All of that said, that I've said about this movie, High School Musical, it's just so lively, so fun to watch. You don't have super high stakes, and it's just easy to enjoy when you first watch this. So all that being said, that's why it's coming in at number 1. That was hard. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching this video. This was so hard for me, as I love all of these movies, and I wanted to rank them, but man, this was one of the toughest videos I've done. So please click the like button down below if you enjoy these videos, and if you'd like for me to do more of these videos in the future. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.